Coming up tonight on the Delmarva Sports Insider, could we see an upset up north as Kent Island look to knock off CSD? Highlights are coming up straight ahead.
And a rivalry that does not recognize state lines, Delmar and Mardella down to the final seconds. How would this one finish? Highlights just ahead.
And our very own sports director Trayvon Miles was out in Owings Mills earlier today as the Ravens announced the extension of their head coach. You see him right there. We have everything you need to know later in the show.
And with that, welcome into Delmarva Sports Insider. I'm Ryan Eldridge alongside Jeff Harris, Jonah Restuccio, and Drew isn't too far away either. We're going to bring him in here in just a minute. We've got a lot to get to tonight, but we'll start off right here in Salisbury and the Bayside. A city rivalry, Bennett and Parkside.
That's right. The second meeting between these two teams this year, guys. The Rams handed Bennett their first loss of the season just over a month ago. So we'll see if they could even the score tonight. Both teams looking for wins to stay within striking distance of Crisfield and Y-High. So you want to get a rivalry game started. That's how you get it started. Brant Vasquez with the facial. Then Quymere Snell with a shakedown triple. Parkside goes up by as many as 12 in the first, but Bennett fighting back. Savion Bennett with the and one. Now, he played tough in this one. Clippers, they led by one at the half.
Second half, Rams running wild again. If he gets a steal, watch your head. Taiwan Hardy jumping out of the gym. Parkside would string together a 10-2 run in the final 2 minutes to tie us at 66, so one last shot. Jordan Williams' three is off. Nothing better than some free basketball. Into overtime we go, and this guy would anchor down for Bennett. Saquon Cotton, 30 points, 20 of them from the free throw line as Bennett prevails in overtime, 72-68.
We just felt as though we had to step it up. We couldn't lose to the city team twice. We got to stay focused. The game wasn't over after halftime. Had to stay focused, keep fighting all the way to the end. We lost a few players. We just came together, played stronger, played together, and from practice hard.
Well, it's always good when you get the boys to photo bomb your interviews, right? It means you had a good night. So the Clippers get revenge on their home floor. As we approach the end of the regular season, we start thinking about playoffs. How big of a win was this tonight?
Well, Bennett, they've struggled to close out games this year, so the win not only helping their record, but it has to help their confidence moving forward towards the end of those 3 playoffs, which, if you think about it, are just on the horizon.
Yeah, so we're talking about a confidence booster. You want to beat your rival. You see it there, a large crowd on Ham. So, yeah, the Rams, though, they look good to start the year. We were like, everybody's like, hey, Parkside could really come alive here a little bit. Yeah. Now they've kind of started to, filter back into some of the youth that they have. Bennett, of course, coming on down the stretch. You mentioned a confidence-boosting win right here. So, playoffs coming up on the horizon. Let's see if they can do what the football team did. Get into the playoffs and then pick up a win. But we have much more games going on in Maryland. And for them, we're going to send it over to the wall and Drew Williams.
Thanks, Jeff. We'll start down in Cambridge as the Vikings looking to keep their 7-game win streak going against Kent Island. And CSD trying to keep that hot start going, but finding themselves down 2 in the fourth. But Vajon Ashley with the drive-in floater in the lane. And, of course, it's Ashley again in the right spot underneath. Gets the nice dish from Davion Ralph. CSD goes up by 4. But this kid was a beast all night long. Taquan Courtney and one underneath the basket. Check out the footwork. He's able to cut the Vikings lead to just 1 possession. And then the Bucks would take the lead later in the quarter. Toby Skeens lines up, spots up, knocks down the triple from the wing. And then, of course, finishing things off, Christian Matthews gains some position down low, and he finishes in with the layup. Kent Island ends the Vikings win streak as they top CSD 61-56. We'll stick with the North as Easton looking for the season sweep over Queen Anne's. The Warriors would open the game up on an 18-5 run in the first. Lamont Powell off the turnover, and he'll sink the up and under lay-in. He had 14 points on the night. Next Warriors possession, Dante Hall drives through the lane and gets the layup to go. Easton heads into the half up by 8 points, but QA would climb all the way back in the third. Time winding down the quarter, and Brandon Peoples knocks down the buzzer beater, cutting the lead to just 2. Then Lions would tie the game in the fourth, but then, it was the Jaden Copper show. He had 8 of Easton's final 10 points as the Warriors hold off Queen Anne's 54-46. And then the same matchup on the girls' side. Easton undefeated on the year, but Queen Anne's quietly right behind them in the north. Start of the first quarter, the Lions going a 12-0 run, capped off by this big Shannon Donovan 3. And of course for Easton, you always have to talk about Maya Jeter. So tough, she would get Easton back into this game as she drives to the rim for the N1. Part of her 21 points, a game high. The Lions' lead would be cut to just 4, but the third for Brooke Gordon. She knocks down the triple and she gets the foul. And of course, QA not taking their foot off the gas either. Jernee Wilson tacks on an insurance bucket late, and QA able to pull off the upset. They hand Easton their first loss of the season, 51-44, and they move into a tie for first in the Bayside North.
You know, it was good to get a little revenge. I mean, Easton's a great team. You know, they got some good athletes out there, and I tell you, they're tough. And I thought we did a good job, you know, slowing them down tonight, and you know, we made shots when they needed to. And it's going to be a tough schedule still to go, and but it's good because it's going to make us ready for the playoffs. And I think that's going to, you know, these kind of games like tonight, that's going to make us better.
And we'll stick with the girls in the South, another version of the city rivalry, Parkside and Bennett. It was all Rams early. Amanda Ballard takes it to the hoop through some traffic, and she gets the short jumper to fall. But Bennett would keep it close early. Peanut Smullen gets the steal, does a little hair flip, and gets the layup to go. Bennett down 13 at the half. Into the third quarter we go. It was all Rams. Jackie Wright has her shot blocked, but sticks with it, and she takes it in for the layup. She had 34 points, 18 rebounds, guys, on the day as Parkside takes it over Bennett 74-56. We'll send it back to the desk for more scores.
All right, thanks, Drew. Now, of course, some of these scores. Look at this one. Kent County, North Carolina. Don't even want to report this one. 33-point win for Kent County, and then, of course, Decatur and Washington. Big win for the Seahawks, 72-66.
Y-High still dominating the Bayside with the win on the road over Snow Hill. And Pocomoke, they can't parlay an upset after their first win of the year against Nandua. They dropped big to Chrisfield. I know Kenny Christopher not happy about that loss.
Yeah, nice bounce back for Y-High, but as you said, you know, rolling in the Bayside as they have been for quite some time. So a lot to digest. When you look at the scores, you think about this past week. Big takeaway for you is what?
I think we have a lot of great storylines as we've seen throughout the show so far, but that Bayside North girls matchup, Easton 14-0, but Queen Anne's, they were the 2A state finalists from last year, and they're sneaking up behind them in those standings, so we could see a late run out of the Lions, and the Warriors can always make a run as well.
Yeah, CSD at that game tonight, 7-game win streak. They had it snapped by Kent Island. It's not a knock on Kent Island, but they should not have had that streak ended, let alone to Kent Island and then at home. So definitely a win that they probably would like back at this point, or a loss that they would like back. CSD should have extended that to 8. Still think they have a good shot come the 1A playoffs, but still not a great loss tonight against a Kent Island team.
And slowly but surely we are getting closer to playoff season.
Time has flown by.
These games matter right now. You need to rack up some wins to secure your seeding for the playoffs.
January is very important in basketball, not so much in the storybook of our lives.
No.
It's time to hit our first break of the night. Some excitement when we come back. Right?
Yeah, when we return the oldest rivalry in the state of Delaware. It took center stage earlier this week. Those highlights when we come back on Delmarva Sports Insider.
I'm Jacqueline Wright from Parkside High School, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.